thing ran over the 8-pin. Absolutely ran it over. What's up, guys? BrunsNick's back, and this is the Beyond Infinity. Now, the Beyond Infinity follows up the original Infinity with the same core, but updated cover with HK22. Now, I can't wait to see what this one does on the lanes for me with SPECTO running, of course. But before we get to all that, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, let's see what Beyond Infinity does for me. All right, we're talking about Beyond Infinity. This has an updated cover compared to the original. So same additive package, but this has HK22 base resin, and now it's pearl. So the Activator Extreme hook. Now the core numbers on this are unchanged. RG's 2.52, differential 051, intermediate 010. Now we're gonna see if the cover stock makes all the world of difference with the shape and the motion. And let's check out the colors on this ball. Fantastic looking bowling ball, very unique looking with that mint pearl in there mixed in with the purples and the blues. So I'm excited to see what this one does. We got SPECTO running, of course. I'm gonna start it out, I'm gonna move it in. We're gonna see what Beyond Infinity does. We're bowling on crown jewel pattern, my typical house shot, 43 feet, a lot of oil in the middle, a lot of dry to the outside. So we're gonna see what we can do with this Beyond Infinity. I'm gonna start it out here. Left foot on 15. We're gonna play a little straighter shot and give this thing a go. All right. Not a bad first shot. Pretty straight up the boards. Picked up pretty nice in the back. You know, whenever I play straighter, my ball speed's usually a little bit higher. Rev rate's a little bit lower. Try not to hit the ball so hard. I don't want that ball to go sideways per se, but look pretty good. Surface on this ball is compound. So 500, 1000, 1500 compound finish. And it's pretty shiny. It wants to bring out the colors on this ball. Certainly a ball you can hit with surface if you really wanted to. Don't know why you would, since this ball looks so good. But hey, you do you. It's a little wider. Here comes work. Oh, man. Got that a pinch wider than the last shot. Did it see it? Did it see that friction? Oh, yeah, it did. So playing in the oil, a lot smoother, went down the lane, hit the dry. That ball picked up pretty hard. So that's a good indicator. Now the last Infinity was very smooth, controllable. The intermediate 010 is almost not even asymmetric. So we're really relying on this ball to be different in the fact that it has a pearl cover and now it has HK22. So we're seeing that so far. The first shot off that spot, out to dry, went off really hard. That's good. That's gonna be important when we move in and try to hook it because we need to hit that spot. Yeah. I think it passes the test out there. Playing straight, ball comes off really hard, pretty angular. I think this is gonna be an exciting review when we start moving in, hooking it, and that's exactly what we're gonna do right here. We're gonna move it 5, give it a little swing now. Colors on this thing, this mint pearl, the blue, the purple, really unique looking bowling ball. You're not gonna mistake this one going down the lane. All right, so now we're standing on 20. We're gonna give it a little swing and see what happens once we open the angle up just a little bit. That's out the gutter. Oh, wow. Nothing? I thought that was gonna carry. I threw that out probably to 2 board. I did not expect that ball to hook back and recover. Obviously it slowed down, it saw that friction and it kind of stopped skidding, got back left. Obviously used a lot of its energy. Didn't have enough to get that 7-pin out. But that was kind of a bad shot. My bad. And we'll try it again. I always try to target around 5 board. Right at my break point, wherever that might be, but 5 board once it starts coming off that spot. A little better. Get it. Oh, man. Always a great sign when you leave a 9-pin As always though, I always like to leave 8 pins. I haven't done that in a little while. I think once I started getting the merch for 8-pin king, the 8 pins kind of been non-existent. It hasn't popped up as much as it usually does, but as always, the merch is on Inside Bowling. Check out the links in the description. All right, 7-pin, sent out wide. Stone 9-pin, almost carried, but didn't. Gotta strike at least once from here, right? Can't go over. That's rude. That should strike. All right, bad rack. Not the greatest carry there. I'm gonna throw one more shot in there. I think I probably let off a little bit on the revs just because I didn't want it to 9-pin again. Obviously in these tests, I'm not gonna move my feet like a board at a time or make small adjustments. I'm just gonna try to make it work from each zone that I'm in. All right, it looks like a little better rack here. Man, I am sharp today. I probably missed that 3 boards, 4 boards left. Played it a lot straighter at that angle, but through the oil, picked up nice. Didn't overskid, actually came off that spot really hard, cut through the pins like hot knife through butter. So let's move it in more. I'm gonna be 10 left of where we began. Flare-wise, very hard to see on this ball. It's there, but it's very hard to show. Those colors all blend together nice. And as a result, I can't really see the flare rings, but if I remember right, the Infinity, it was a medium amount of flare. It didn't like over flare or do anything crazy. Out wide. Okay. Yeah, my miss right now is missing out wide. That ball still recovers. Obviously used all of its energy getting back to the pins. I'm gonna try a couple shots now where I don't try to send it out so wide. That one had to have been like 3 or 4 board. I'm gonna try to keep it like 5 to 7, somewhere in there. Inside of the tracer, I'm sorry, not the tracer, but just around the right side of that outside tracer. Just wanna be around 7 board, 8 board, maybe 6, somewhere in there. Yeah, all right. That was a little too far in. I always get asked that question, like, why do you throw it out so far wide? Why do you throw it out the 5 board? Why don't you make your target at like 15 board, 10 board? It's because I like to strike. With my rev rate and the way I play the lanes, in order to create the amount of entry angle I need to strike consistently, having your break point at 15 or 10 board just doesn't create enough angle. All right, this is gonna be the best shot ever. Nice. Ball is so strong off the spot. Just one of those bowling balls that complete different from the original. I can't stress that enough. Original was so smooth in control. This one is so responsive off the back. It's quite impressive. So let's move it 5 more. We're gonna be 15 left. Let's really open up the angles. We'll probably bring the speed down just a little bit, go around the side of it, and see what this one can do now. Now we're really opening up the angles. Break point's gonna be about the same, but the ball speed will come down, I would think, at this point with a shiny ball. That thing ran over the 8-pin. Absolutely ran it over. This is gonna be one of those bowling balls you go to that once the friction has developed just a little bit, not a lot, this one's, you can cheat it a little bit, I think, with this ball. It's got enough cover stock strength that once they start to break down and you want to move in and hook it, these are the kind of bowling balls you go to. Let's throw another one in there. That was definitely a monster strike. Again? Yep. Dang. That continuation is very impressive. It's exactly what you expect. You know, you're getting this kind of performance. You get that core, you get that cover, you get that HK22. Very, very impressive ball. Should we keep staying right there? Third time's a charm? Why not? I'm gonna try the same thing. See if I can repeat that same thing 3 times in a row. I don't see why not. This has been the best spot. Yep. Man, what a terrific ball. You just kind of send it, bend it, strike. Crazy, right? All right, I'm gonna move 5 more. We're gonna be 20 left. This will be the end of the road for the Beyond Infinity. So I think it's only gonna shine and do crazy things from inside here just like it did in the last zone. All right, let's make this move. 20 left. Real wide angles. The send it, bend it time. What do you say? Oh, okay. Maybe a little bit too far left. That had infinite length, if you know what I mean. The length was infinity and beyond. So here might be a little bit of issue because the lane hasn't broken down. Obviously I bull on fresh pattern. You know, there's not really a lot of traffic other than what I create to the right to start with. But I thought that was okay. Maybe I just need to get it there just a little sooner. Like that. Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah, last zone, really, really good. This one, the shiny surface is starting to create a little bit too much length. That one comes in very behind the head pin, even when I bring that speed down, or at least I felt like I did. Got it to the zone maybe a little bit sooner. Just kind of struggled a little bit. Last zone, didn't have a problem. This one, now we're seeing it over skid a little bit. So I'm gonna really try to get around the side of it to get that ball to tip. Work the inside a little bit more. That's all it takes. Obviously, I really have to manipulate it there, but it gets the job done, but I'm just too far left. I mean, the point of these reviews is to really test out the ball, all different angles, and see where the weaknesses are, see what I encounter, and that's kind of it. So I'm gonna move it back 5 boards, because that was the zone that was most impressive to me. And I'm gonna throw one more shot, wrap this video up. Let's see if I can do 4 in a row from this zone. So once again, this is 15 left. I just moved back 5 from where I was and see what happens. It's gonna hook. It's like clockwork. I can literally stand there and strike all day. With that kind of performance going through the pins, there's not gonna be a time where I don't strike. Really, at that angle and the way it's hooking through the pins, pins have no chance. So that's all for my review of the Beyond Infinity. Completely different bowling ball than the original. A lot more back end, a lot more shelf appeal. This ball is dynamic on the back end. So be sure to check out the merch, Inside Bowling, links in the description. Talk to you guys soon. If you guys have any questions, put them below. I read them all. Talk to you guys soon. Please subscribe.